Coming up in this episode, Iota gets pixelated, we find a mystery moon, and a secret accolade. Hello, I am the Black Knight, and welcome back to another bonus video where we look at the engineering and the science options for the different missions, as well as a few other tidbits, including Rurik. We were able to find him on Earth space dock, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So let's get started with Gigantor and do diplomatic orders, and then Stranded in Space.
We have a diplomatic mission for you.
So we're here back on Vulcan, and we can actually talk to Ambassador Soketh first here. The pop-up did tell us to speak to his aide first. You can speak to him. Unfortunately, you don't get any new options. He still says the same things. It just doesn't progress the story forward any further, so you have to speak to his aide first. So I'll skip forward until after we've spoken to the abbot and get the other options that we can speak to.
Do you have any questions?
Which is, I've spoken to Savin. We can leave for Gem now.
Excellent. Our departure has been delayed long enough by the whims of one man. I am prepared for the journey and can leave immediately.
So nothing seems to change here, so we'll skip forward a little bit more. So this is the Gem system. We have defeated the Klingons and we're about to beam down. You can see the bridge officers here don't have some skills. For some reason, I don't know why, I'm guessing another bug. But when we beam down, as you can see, we do have skills. Nothing else changes with the mission, so we'll skip forward again.
The Ambassador was an Undine? I'm afraid their infiltration of the Federation goes much deeper than we realized. Who knows what kind of havoc they could
So if for any reason you don't get the pop-up, to end the mission you can just press J, go into episodes and the correct tab, which in this case is Klingon War, and click on the Hell button and it will bring up...
The Ambassador was an Undine? I'm afraid their infiltration of the Federation goes...
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Otherwise, if you close the mission, or if you don't get the pop-up, then you can get it up the same way to look at the mission again. So just close up the window here, and again if we press J, we go into episodes, and make sure we're on Klingon War tab, and then we can scroll down. You can see here, we're Stranded in Space. And you can see the next mission as well, Research and Rescue, which is greyed out, and we can't do anything with that one because we haven't finished the one before, so we'd have to either go on to Hail or to skip to be able to go on to the next one. And you can also replay missions here as well, but we're just going to Hail and go on to do the mission.
There is a Bolian freighter that is overdue arriving at Earth space dock. It may need assistance.
To any ships in range, this is Dana Brott of the transport SS Azura. First two ships that you find when you enter the system, and then flying on over here to the asteroid, going through a little hole in the middle, and we'll pick up an accolade. So we've boarded the Azura and we've gone to the engine room, and we've spoken to the captain. I'm just going to grab this gas quickly, and then we can look at the engineering option, which the option is Scan Warp Core. Okay, so the Warp Core says if you reroute power from life support to containment, you can stabilise the core long enough to erect a level 10 force field, which should hold the antimatter long enough for the Azura to get to a starbase for repairs. It's risky, but unless you do something soon, the core will explode. The option we have here is to continue. So for the engineering option, we do need to contain the warp core. There is a console here on the left hand side which is glowing a bit, so we need to go over here, and it says Access Engineering Console. And the control room console says life support levels are at 82%, automated backups will engage at power, so life support drops below 47%. Are you sure you wish to reroute power to antimatter containment? The option is reroute power. So we now have another console light up, which is deploy containment field. So we got the engineering accolade there, which is Cochrane's student. It's cool. The control console says erecting a level 10 force field won't repair all of the damage to the Azora, but it should contain the antimatter and give the ship a fighting chance to survive. If the vessel makes it through the next few minutes, it should be able to link to a starbase on imposed power. A shipyard is needed to make all of the repairs that the vessel needs, and the option is engage force field. Okay, so you can actually see here, we actually have a force field around the warp core. Very cool. The captain apparently still going to stay here. I guess we still just need to get the rest of the crew out. We can actually go and have a look now and see what the tactical option was. So the option is to operate the console, and it's the plasma control console. It just says the controls on this console are jammed. It's useless. Tactical required. Just finishing up the last of the space combat, and you can see what other options we have. So we move here and then scan the gas. Get a pop-up from Flores. This is Captain. We need to get within range to try and transport lock on Captain Brott. Again, we'll say Captain Brott is the option. Let's transport Captain Brott. Okay, so it's Flores again. Scanning the Azora now, sir. Radiation levels are normal and the force field around the warp core is holding. She's out of danger. Captain Brott is hailing us, sir. Putting her on the main view screen.
Many thanks. If it hadn't been for you and your crew, I would have lost my ship and my life. I'm in your debt. I'm setting a course to Earth's space dock for repairs. If I see you at Club 47, the drinks are on me. I think I might even have a few bottles of Tranya in the cargo hold.
The only option is to continue. There is a nice moon there just to the right of the ship, just going out of view now. I don't remember seeing that when we got into that, but yes, it's Flores again. It says now the Azora is safely away, sir. We should take the injured crew out of the system. Starfleet is sending a shuttle to retrieve them, and they can rejoin the Azora space dock. Are you ready to go, Captain? Seems a bit weird. Why don't we just give the crew straight back to her if she's going back to her space dock? Probably would have made more sense, but okay. Well, that's the end of the engineering one. The engineering options. I'm just going to continue here, and again, it just goes to the depart system or not yet. So you can fly around if you haven't got the gases. So let's have a look at the science one now and see what's going on with that one. So we're just parked outside the SS Azora on Iota, our science character. We are getting the bug pop-up again for finding Ensign Rurik on the space dock, which we didn't get with Gigantor, but we did get with Jane on the playthrough. So I'm just going to pop that one off and start the mission. There was nothing new with diplomatic orders, so I've just gone straight into the Azora mission. I have actually done this mission a couple of times on this character.
In range. This is Dana Brott of the transport SS.
So I've destroyed the first two ships that come up against in this mission. I'm just looking around to see if I can find the moon, which I spotted earlier, but it's not in this first map where you can actually get the accolades. So we're here beaming on board the Azora with Iota. Crew beamed on fine, so that's good. It's the standard pop-ups that we get going through with the other characters until we get to here. We have something that we didn't have on any of the other playthroughs, which is use the B key to toggle between shooter mode and RPG mode. For some reason I can do that and I get this pop-up on Iota, but I didn't get it on Gigantor and I didn't get it on the Let's Play with Jane. So that's just another mode that you can use. You just press B to enter and press B again to leave, and you can actually aim with your mouse rather than using the tab targeting system. It's just another way of doing it. Some people prefer it, but some people don't. You just use what you're happy with. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting that we did get this pop-up just once. And we didn't get it with any of the others, so a little bit of a strange bug going on there with that, for some weird reason. So we're at the first injured crew member. With the science profession, we can now scan the crew member, and it states the tricorder scan results. This patient is showing signs of radiation poisoning. A hyperspray of Hyrulin will take care of the symptoms, but she will need to spend a few days in sickbay. Just continue, and then we get to apply the treatment. So the pop-up here says thank you, I can make it from here, but the problem is they don't seem to do anything. They stand up, we don't get any progression on towards our science accolade for the heal the injured crew, so it's bugged. I've tried this mission many times, and unfortunately, I can't seem to get it to work. It's just bugged. I've tried here, as you can see, the shooter mode, trying to get the bug behind the plasma, but you still couldn't get him. And here's another problem I found with having a smaller character, is trying to get the pop-up to come up when you're trying to interact with the console is actually quite difficult because you are so small. It doesn't seem to get the pop-up, so I've had to sort of wander around the console a little bit to find a space where it actually does come up. So if you do find that you are having this problem, there is actually a little spot just on the left of the console where you can jump up on, and you will actually get the pop-up. You can see here I'm just standing on the side, so that's fine for this console. For the others it's a little bit more tricky, but it's just a case of wandering around until you can actually get that pop-up. So that's, yeah, unfortunately if you do have a small character, you are going to run into these kinds of problems as you go through the game, so just be aware of that. I will show a little bit more of the shooter combat in action. It's not a preferred mode for myself, but some of you might prefer that method, so I'm just going to show a little bit more footage of combat in this mode. You can have a look at the next crew member for the science accolade. And, as you can see, we can apply the treatment for the injured crew member, and again they stand up, but nothing happens, no progress. So we're coming up on the third and final of the injured crew members on the Azura, and we'll get the pop-up again for the applied treatment, which we do. And again they jump up and they look towards us, say thank you, I can make it from here, but they don't go any further. They do turn around on the spot if you walk around them, but unfortunately they are bugged, they are not working. So if you get this, it's not you, it's unfortunately it is a bug. You can see here as well, we're also having problems trying to access the console. I actually jump and press F to be able to get this one, but if you watch the mouse carefully, it will actually change to a cog. You can right click when that happens, and that should also help you with getting the console to operate. So I've skipped ahead after I've spoken to Captain Brock, and I've come back into where the first or the last of the injured crew member is, and so I can scan the crew member again now. So I'm just doing that, and I get a pop-up saying the radiation has done too much damage to this patient's cellular structure, there's nothing more that can be done for them. So that's the same pop-ups that you would get if you were a tactical profession or if you had an engineering profession. So we're at the end of the space combat. You can see the big moon there, which is now on the map, which wasn't before when we first entered the system. And we're now going to go ahead and rescue the Azura. So we get the same pop-up here that we have about transporting Captain Brock. So we go ahead and rescue her.
Attempting to get a transporter lock on Captain Brock, sir. Boosting containment. We have her, Captain.
So we've got the same ending to the mission as we did with the tactical. We get the same options to be able to speak to the captain. It's hard to say whether or not we would have had anything else because it was bugged for the science. I did have a quick check through the options to see if there was anything new for the science when you're speaking to the captain, but there isn't anything there. Again, it's pretty difficult to say because we weren't able to complete it because it was bugged.
Well done. You saved that crew just in time.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
We do get all the standard pop-ups that we do with all the other professions with skill points and such. I'm actually going to press J and go...
Starfleet has lost contact.
Go into the episodes tab and the Klingon War. You can repeat any of the previous missions that you can do. I'll go on to the next one, in this case Research or Rescue, but I wanted to replay the mission to see if I could actually get some of the accolades for this. I've tried it many times, did too many playthroughs really is why this video took as long as it has to come, but unfortunately every time I've done it, it has been bugged. I thought I would quickly show as we go through the mission again. With Iota, you can see that we've got our bridge officers with us this time. Again, the same pop-ups that we would have for all the other characters, but at this point where we've got the pop-ups for some missions, we're not getting the one about showing you shooter mode. I did think that it was possible that because we were in shooter mode, that might have been what bugged the accolades from starting. So you can see here I'm actually doing it in the RPG mode instead, and then going through it. We still get the same pop-up as we did last time, so that's fine. We can then apply the treatment. I actually came around the other side as well just to see if that was something that would help not bug it, but you can see they turn around on the spot and they're feeling much better now. But again, we don't get any progress to our accolade. Again, I've run this mission many times now with science, far more than I would like to admit actually, but yeah, every time it's just bugged. So I will report the bug and hopefully Cryptic can fix this. So this is back when I first got diplomatic orders and I was first looking around the starbase to see if I could find Rurik, and he's just outside the Admiral's office, just here. It is the same ensign that we had in the tutorial. He was our transporter chief, and he says here, have you checked out all the facilities on Earth space dock? And you have here the 3 different tutorials. You have medical attention, changing clothes, and skills trainer. So we can go ahead and pick up all of those. The medical attention, I'd like you to learn more about injuries. If you choose to accept more difficult missions, you run the risk of being injured. You should understand what may happen. Please speak to the chief medical officer. So we can go ahead and pick that mission up, and we will get 3 minor regenerators as a reward. So it's an easy way to pick up some regenerators. Those will actually help heal you whilst you're out and about, rather than having to come back to the starbase. So the changing clothes, it says congratulations on the promotion, Lieutenant. You should add these new pips to your uniform. Visit Gamek Talur to update your look. When you're there, you can update your outfit in additional ways if you like. Don't worry about the bill, I'll pick up this one. Be sure to see Gamek Talur before you leave space dock. And the skills trainer is Commander Bate would like to talk to you about skill ranks and grades. You should see him before you leave Earth space dock. So all those are tutorials. It's just a case of finding where they all are. I actually found the first one just down to the right of where we are now. It's just down the stairs. It's not too difficult to find. He's got a little exclamation mark above his head. So it's just the guy in the shadows, just on the floor here. And that's the first tutorial where he'll talk to you about the skills. And he says here you have an inquiry about training and ranks, correct? Very well, proceed with your inquiry. And the option is, I want to know more about my bridge officer skills. So he continues, your bridge officers are your most important crew. They will improve your ship's functionality and accompany you on away missions. So the first option we have is, how do I give my bridge officers the best skills possible? Okay, so he states you can spend expertise to improve the abilities they have or train them in new abilities. Bridge officer abilities increase in effectiveness as they move from versions 1 to 3. You have bridge officers join your crew with versions 1 or 2 abilities, but to learn version 3 abilities they must be trained. Training some of your skills will unlock training nodes. Then you can train a bridge officer of the appropriate rank in version 3 ability. So continue, you will only be able to train bridge officers who share your career path. A captain who is a scientist cannot train his or her tactical officers how to fire a photon torpedo. So you go back, and the other option is I want to know more about training my skills. I did go through all the options here. It's the same information that you get via voiceover, so if you want to feel free and read it, that's fine, but I'm just going to skip ahead. So the next person we're going to be looking for is the tailor, and he's just up the stairs and around the corner. If you're not exactly sure where he is, you can press M and it brings up the map. You use the mouse wheel to scroll in and out, and you can see he's just at the bottom here. There's a little white circle around him. So, and the other one is just at the top, there. So we'll go and see the tailor. Just minimise that one. Just press M to close it down, and we'll head over to the requisitions area. The tailor, you can just see through the window here. There's different uniforms and such. It's just here on the left-hand side, and it's actually marked at the top. So you can see uniform supply. And a nice little icon on the side there as well. So this is Gigantor. And he says here, welcome to my shop, Lieutenant. Admiral Quinn has requested I provide some complimentary services to the Federation's newest rising star. Please feel free to look around and let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Thank you. So the options we have are tailor, I'm tired of wearing this uniform, or tell me about off-duty outfits. So we'll go with I'm tired of wearing this uniform. So he continues, it's a good thing for you that there are off-duty outfits, Lieutenant. Off-duty outfits offer a variety of new looks for when you're not on the bridge. You wouldn't want to go to Risa and not be fashionable, would you? Go back, and the other option, tell me about off-duty outfits. You have a costume slot on your character for an off-duty outfit. Off-duty outfits include many items not allowed in the Starfleet Uniform Code. Some items of clothing and colours may only be used in off-duty outfit slots. Any tailor should be able to help you choose a new look. So the last one is tailor, and you can go in there and you pretty much have the same options you do with the tutorial. Just notice that our character has just gone really pixelated for some weird reason. That's a bit strange. Also the chat is minimalized, so you won't be able to use that unless you bring it up. So that's something to just keep in mind. If you do want to use the chat, you can, but just click on it to bring it up again. So it's going to go over to the bridge officers, and they also are weirdly pixelated too, which is a bit odd, but there we go. There is a list option, as I said, so you can have it as a list, as a large preview with a picture, or a small preview with a picture. And you can obviously click on through each one of those and modify them, so you can change their names, their ranks, and their uniforms. As long as they're at a high enough rank, you can change their rank as well. So I'm going to come out of here because I'm not going to make any changes to my character, and then we're going to go into the last of the tutorial, which is the medical attention. So for this we're just going to go around to the right. We saw already on the map where it was, and you can actually see in the distance it's actually marked on the wall where it says the infirmary. Just going to run past waterfall. There is C47, which is a club. There's a club you can go to upstairs with a dance floor and bits and bobs up there if you want to have a look at some point. But for us, we are looking for the Chief Medical Officer, who's just here, and then click to treat injuries. So the medical officer says, here, take some minor regenerators to get you started. I don't want you to be injured and not be able to do anything about it. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. So continue. Okay, so I don't have any injuries, so I can't really go over that one. So we'll do tell me about injuries. And it says, when you or one of your bridge officers are incapacitated in battle, there is a chance that you or your officers will suffer an injury. There are 3 levels of injury: minor, major and critical. If an injury occurs, the severity of the injury is determined by chance. If you have existing injuries, there is a greater chance that you will be injured again or suffer more severe injuries. And then continue. You cannot be injured until you reach the rank of Lieutenant 5. and you cannot be injured in normal difficulty missions. However, if you are incapacitated or you are on an advanced or elite mission, the chance that you will be injured increases. Okay, so we go back and it's tell me how to treat an injury. It's if you or one of your bridge officers are injured, you can be treated by visiting a medical officer in either Space Dock or Deep Space Nine. You will pay energy credits each time you need to be treated. The cost depends on the severity of the injury. Continue. You may also use regenerators to treat injuries. These items come in 3 versions, and each treat a different level of injury. Regenerators stack in groups of 20. They are not available in replicators, but some stores will offer them. So go back. So the next one is tell me about minor injuries. The effect of minor injuries is small, and it takes several minor injuries to impact your performance on missions. It is important to treat minor injuries though, because if you are injured and then you are incapacitated again, the chance of suffering a greater injury increases. Minor injuries will disappear after 30 minutes. Go back again. So the next one is tell me about major injuries. A major injury is significant and should be treated at your first opportunity. If you suffer more than one major injury, your ability to complete missions may be impacted. And the last one is tell me about critical injuries. It says critical injuries are the most severe and should be treated immediately. Critical injuries will affect your performance. It is possible to complete your missions with one or more critical injuries, but it will be more difficult. So that's the end of the additional tutorials from Rurik. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you all in the next video.